Hey everybody, how y'all doing? Okay, I'm making this video ahead of when another video is. It's actually sort of a response video, and I only really know a vague outline of what this other person's going to say. But I'm already arguing, even just at the supposition of, the idea of this video, which hasn't even been made yet. And it has to do partly with culpability and forgiveness. And, I guess since Sunday, since, Cheesefare, forgiveness is just really on my mind a lot. And it's sort of like a year's review. You go over and you kind of think to yourself, who do I need to apologize to? Who thinks on the other end that I need to apologize to them, whether I really think I need to or not. And I just had an experience recently where, and I've had two, well, one was last year, but there's two of these incidences where there's like a bad parting, and afterwards I still feel like, even though I wasn't attempting to agitate the person or do anything in a malicious way at all, okay, that I'm still somehow culpable and that I still owe them an apology just for being part of the situation somehow, okay. And there's parts of me that realize that that's, kind of a boundary issue because I'm only responsible for myself, not for what they experience or what they turn it into later. Okay, so I get that part of it, but particularly when it has to do with something of a faith nature and it's very sensitive, then I feel even a greater responsibility. And I I waffle back and forth on this, whether I need to apologize to that person or not. And so I was asking, do you think, because I described what happened, and I've even do I owe them an apology? And I can't truthfully say that it was an unbiased opinion, right? But just in terms of who's right and who's wrong kind of a thing, which I always come down to kindness with that one. I mean, if you're trying to be correct, but you're still unkind, then you're incorrect. The method by which you deliver your message becomes your message. It overrides it. So you don't really have the room to, with your actions or your words somehow, express something different than you're wanting to project. And this one's kind of freaky here, the next thing I'm going to say, because I'm not saying this next part as kind of like the secret sort of a thing, but I do watch people's perceptions and preconceived notions and pre-decided destinies for themselves become of a situation what they believe it to be from before, and that they'll get out of that situation whatever it is that they're wanting, regardless of what was said or done or whatever, because that's how they're going to exercise themselves through the world. That's the way they're doing things, that's the way they're seeing things, that's the way they're going to perceive you. Regardless, you could, anyway, they'll turn it into whatever it is that they are fighting against, maybe within themselves, that they'll sometimes even project onto you, or try to get you riled up about also what they're upset about, rather than containing their emotions about it and just talking about things from a logical standpoint of view. Okay. So I could give lots of examples, but I'm sure that you've experienced that, I mean, and there's a joke about it on Facebook, if you just express, if you want to get into a fight on Facebook, all you simply need to do is state your opinion and stand back and just watch it fly. And things will go in the craziest directions. And it happens on Google Plus too. But it's bizarre the way that people take their agenda and morph it into whatever it is that they're seeing and take it where, for their own purpose, where they want it to go, having nothing to do with that situation, but it becomes this personal thing. So in looking at that, I mean, logically, that means that I wouldn't owe that person an apology, I guess, even though I still feel guilty, but that's just, me somehow, right? But there's a part of me that was kind of coming to a sort of an idea about, Forgiveness Sunday, just in terms of when I'm asking that person for forgiveness, it's actually me asking for help. It's not even so much a matter of, yes, it's to say, I wish to soothe your heart because, I know that your heart, but, there's also a part of it for me where it's like, teach me how to not do this again, so that I would never ever do this again, that I would not hurt a person in such a way. And it's weird how there are sometimes situations with certain people who will just burn themselves into your mind and you'll remember years later. Or it'll just, burn a hole in your gut, something that just really deeply bothers you. And, things that are painful teach you things, events in your life that are painful will cause you to grow, and, it can mutate positive or negative. I think that somebody is waking up. Anyway, and sometimes you'll act out those ways, I don't want to say for the rest of your life, but in other situations, trying to prevent that from happening again.